Last week, we got the official news that Charles Schwab is buying rival TD Ameritrade in a $26 billion deal. It's a move with far-reaching implications for the brokerage industry. And joining us right now to talk more about this is Rich Repetto. He is the principal at Sandler O'Neill and Partners. And Rich, this was not the deal that most people are expecting, I think, as you pointed out, but it will massively change the industry. What do you think?
Yeah, it creates, tremendous scale. They're going to have $5 trillion in assets. The advisor space will have 15,000 advisors. And in a space where commissions have gone to zero, I mean, you really need that scale. And consolidation is, in my opinion, where you get the maximum scale, maximum efficiencies.
I mean, this industry is undergoing so much change and so much turmoil because of going to zero commissions. But do you think that there will be regulatory concerns about this, specifically because of the RIA, the investment advisors?
Yeah, that's been discussed. I know it's been a lot discussed. And just as, exchanges consolidated years back, it really depends on how you define the market. If you just look at the RIAs of the e-brokers, yeah, Schwab is going to be half of that. But if you look at RIAs of banks, of insurance companies, the other independents, they're really about 10%. So, again, it's what the regulators and antitrust officials look at as the market. Because Schwab is, when you look at advisors overall, and any of these advisors could come and talk to you, they're 10% of that market.
And what are you hearing from that RIA channel, the e-brokerage RIA channel? Are they running to Washington right now saying, hey, Macon, you need to DQ this deal?
No, they obviously are concerned, but, they've been through, deals before. Schwab's doing a lot of talking to them. So is Ameritrade. They have good relationships with their existing advisors. So that's something that, you want to, just like you win over clients, you want to win over the RIAs that you have to make sure they're on board as well.
What do you think the next step is? I mean, how will this industry move from here because of this?
Well, there's still one player that's still out there. There's E-Trade. E-Trade, they didn't get involved in this deal, and it's interesting that they were not involved. But they're still valuable. They have a bank. They have deposits. They are able to raise deposits. There's a lot of companies out there, a lot of big banks that are looking for deposits. They also have a corporate stock plan business. So E-Trade's still, in my opinion, a valuable asset now, but they have been, they're going to lack scale compared to a Schwab-Ameritrade combination.
Is there potential for unconventional tie-ups, like, I don't know, maybe a Coinbase and an E-Trade or a SoFi and an E-Trade, as opposed to one of the banks that you just referenced?
I would say, anything is possible now. Like Becky said, zero commissions really opened up the door. Schwab-Ameritrade, you wouldn't have thought of that because Schwab hadn't been an acquirer. TD Bank wasn't looked at as one that would, would favor that transaction. They did. So I think there's going to be a lot of out-of-the-box thinking. E-Trade has clients. They have $600 billion in assets. So it's really how you monetize the assets. Now, they're not going to be as big as Schwab-Ameritrade, which have $5 trillion, but they still have a good platform, and again, have a bank and this corporate stock plan business.
What do Schwab and TD Ameritrade have to do to make this a successful merger between the two? What has to happen next?
Well, we already talked about they have to win over the RIAs and make sure that they're satisfied, because that's a key. That's a growing part of the business. That's how you bring in new assets, is through these RIAs. The next is the cost savings. And just like in exchange deals, there's
a lot of fixed costs.
A lot of fixed costs. In fact, 60 to 65% of Ameritrade's costs are expected to come out of the transaction. Now, how you try to...
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
That is a huge number. How many employees do they have?
Combined, there's probably around 30,000 employees as well. That's combined companies.
Okay.
But, when you look at deals in this space, this is what makes them so compelling, is that, when you bring the platforms together, you have an Ameritrade platform and a Schwab platform, a year later, they slowly will make the websites look the same. So when they do kill one platform, there isn't a whole lot of disruption. With clients.
You think that can happen in a year only because both of them are pretty successful platforms in their own right?
Yeah. So a year has been the typical time. Now, they've forecasted or guided to a longer, term. This is a little bit different than the exchange consolidation, where it took a while, but you got them on one platform. Now you're dealing with retail clients. in a lot of the customer-facing things that I think that you guys did at ICE were, hidden behind the scenes. Here, it's very visible. You have a customer going on. He's used to his.
Right. You better not change it or you're going to tick him off.
Exactly.
Rich, you know the exchanges very, very well. Direct listings, that was something that I was involved with when I was at the New York Stock Exchange. It seems to have taken on some momentum. What are your thoughts on direct listings? And in particular, do you expect to see companies not only doing direct listings, but maybe even raising capital through a direct listing and disrupting the traditional IPO model? Yeah,
I do. I think, with everything that's going on in the space, the debate between, companies staying private for longer, the private equity actually contracting here, I think, again, they're going to look at other ways to raise money, whatever is the easiest, whatever facilitates their goals and their objectives. And I know you were very good at doing that and look at what the particular company needed, what was best suited for them. And I think that's the model that's going to go, will win out going forward.
Hey, Rich, thanks for coming in today.
It's good to be here.
It's good to see you.
What's your prediction on Army-Navy in 2 weeks?
I got to say, go Army. We haven't had a great year, but it's a big game, and we still get up for that game. It's the biggest of the year for us.